Hello, I'm Kathleen Gustafson, the PI of the study reported here. I want to acknowledge my colleagues Susan Carlson and John Colombo, who were responsible for the design of the parent trial in 2003, and the study sponsor, Mead Johnson Nutrition. This work was the postdoctoral project of Qi Liao, the first author. The parent trial that began in 2003 was an investigator-initiated, multi-site, randomized clinical trial originally designed to determine the effect of 3 different levels of docosahexaenoic acid, or DHA, on visual acuity in the first year of life. This study began before the FDA approved the addition of long-chain polyunsaturated fatty acids, or LC-PUFAs, to infant formula. Therefore, this is one of the last research cohorts where the control formula had no added LC-PUFAs. We have continued to follow these children out to 11 years of age and have reported various developmental outcomes. In the next few slides, I will explain the makeup of the infant formulas and the design of the task. Newborn infants were randomized to one of 4 infant formulas. The control formula had no added LC-PUFA. There were 3 supplemented formulas. These formulas contain the same amount of arachidonic acid, or ARA, at 0.64% total fatty acids. The supplemented formulas all contain DHA, but in different amounts, 0.32, 0.64, and 0.96 total fatty acids. Infants remained on the randomized formula for the first year of life. Longitudinal measures of visual acuity were obtained in the first year. Children were followed for 6 years using a battery of behavioral measures of cognitive performance. The summarized results of these early studies are referenced in the current manuscript. The aim of the current study was to determine whether the effects of LC-PUFA supplementation in the first year would be evident on inhibitory control as indexed by behavioral and brain responses in childhood. When children were between 5 and 6 years of age, event-related potentials, or ERPs, were recorded to stimuli designed to inhibit a prepotent response. Children were shown frequent cartoon images of fish, the go condition, and told to press the button to catch the fish. The children were also shown rare cartoon images of sharks, the no-go condition, and told, "Don't catch a shark." Children were rewarded with positive feedback, a fish in the net, if they caught a fish. If they erred and caught a shark, negative feedback was given by the image of a shark ripping the net. The following videos show the training process followed by an actual test. The child who participated in this demonstration video is only 3.5 years old, demonstrating the applicability of this method to younger ages. Electrodes were applied to the scalp while the children watched a cartoon video. Next, children were shown how to perform the task.
We even have a pufferfish down here that we want to catch. And look, there's even this little gray-greeny guy up here. We want to catch him too. We want to catch all these fish. Red one. Well, I'm getting there, all right? So all these fish we want to catch. And then in our ocean are also some sharks, okay? So these are the sharks, and we don't want to catch those, right? Because what happens? The net, right? That's what we'll get to next. So here, now you can catch a fish. So you catch a fish by pushing that button right there. Great job. Great job. All right, so that's how you catch fish. So push the button when you want to catch a fish. Don't push it when you see a shark, and he'll just swim on by, okay? Sound good? So let's do some practice here. So have your finger.
And get a lot of fish, and not just sharks. That's a shark. I got the guy.
We first tested whether there were ERP component differences between the supplemented groups. Variance was equal between the supplemented groups. No differences were found, so we collapsed the 3 supplemented groups into one. We found that P2 amplitude was greater in the LC-PUFA supplemented group. N2 amplitude was greater for the no-go condition, but only in the LC-PUFA supplemented group. P3 amplitude was greater for the no-go condition in both groups. This figure highlights the differences in N2 response to the different conditions between the groups. The blue shaded region highlights the N2 amplitude difference between the go and no-go condition in the LC-PUFA supplemented group. The red shaded condition highlights the N2 amplitude difference between conditions for the control group. These group differences for stimulus condition are reflected in the group average topographical maps, which represent the difference potential at peak amplitude between the 2 stimulus conditions. Notice the increased negativity in the LC-PUFA group compared to the neutral difference in the control group. To further explore the condition difference between the groups, we used microstate analysis. This method measures temporarily stable ERP topography that can be clustered as functional microstates. In theory, the differences in scalp topographies between conditions reflect different configurations of active neuronal sources in the brain, in turn reflecting information processing steps that evolve from the initial perception of the stimulus to the behavioral response, that is, the button press. We purposely excluded latencies that included the button press and only compared differences in processing prior to the motor response. Here we compare the between-group microstates to the go stimulus. While the LC-PUFA supplemented group generates a novel microstate with greater central parietal activation following the activation of the primary visual cortex, the group difference was not significant. When we compared the behavioral response between groups, we found that the reaction time to the go stimulus in the LC-PUFA group was faster, but fell just short of significance. Further comprehensive analysis of behavior revealed no group differences. In contrast to the go condition, the between-group analysis for the no-go condition resulted in significantly different microstates between the control and LC-PUFA supplemented group, seen in the second microstate panel. The horizontal arrow denotes this difference. We suggest that the novel and longer duration microstate to the no-go condition in the LC-PUFA supplemented group represents an active period of stimulus evaluation and response preparation, resulting in the stimulus condition difference observed for the N2 component that was not observed in the control group. We also found a significant difference between the go and no-go conditions within the LC-PUFA supplemented group, denoted by the red vertical arrow. These results fit with our a priori hypothesis that early life LC-PUFA supplementation is involved in brain development, particularly in regions responsible for executive function, and is supported by previous results in the same cohort at earlier ages showing better attention, rule learning, and inhibition in the supplemented group. We thank you for your attention.